We've just crossed 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel after 7 months and 100 videos posted thanks to you guys and your support. So this video is going to be more about saying thanks to you guys for watching these videos all this time, and I also want to talk about some general lessons and some stuff that I've learned so far in the past couple of months about YouTube and just life in general. And then lastly, I want to also talk about some goals that I have for the channel and the general direction that I'm going to take this channel in and some stuff that you can expect to moving forward. And I can tell you right now that there's some pretty exciting stuff coming, especially if you're a beginner investor. I'm planning some things right now, which I'm going to also talk about in this video. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about how it actually feels to get 1,000 subscribers. Now look, you're probably used to watching channels right now that have millions of subscribers that get millions of views for every single video, but for a small channel like mine, this actually means quite a lot, and it is quite a pivotal achievement to get 1,000 subscribers. Reaching 1,000 subscribers basically gives you a boost of self-esteem, and you start to feel like your efforts and your videos are slowly starting to get noticed by a bunch of people. But here's the shocking thing, right? It's very short-lived. You'll reach 1K and then you'll feel good for like a day, like max 1 week, and then afterwards everything just basically goes back to normal, right? The high that you had basically comes back down again, and then you just feel normal again. The feeling kind of just fades away. And basically what starts to happen is that you start to essentially adjust your expectations, and then you start to think about bigger and better goals like reaching 2K, then 5K, then 10K. And then if you're part of this social media ecosystem, basically the goal just keeps on increasing. When you reach the subscriber goal that you were aiming for so long, once you actually reach it, you just aim for bigger and better goals essentially. That's why it's so important to not just set those numerical goals about reaching subscriber counts. It's actually very important to just focus on the process and just enjoy the process. And by that I mean just focus on making the videos and having fun while making them. Because the thing is, if you enjoy the process, you can basically outwork anyone, because the thing is, it doesn't really feel like work, and you start to think of it as just something that you do on the side. And that's a very empowering position to be in, because you start to think of it as, this is just a fun thing that I do. Now look, that doesn't mean that you don't burn out. Obviously you're gonna have days and weeks where you just don't feel like making videos and you don't feel like doing the work. Personally, I've had those rough patches as well. I've had days and weeks where I just don't feel like doing this. It's the last thing that I want to do. But basically what I'm trying to say is that overall it doesn't really feel like work, especially if you're enjoying the process. Now the reason why I bring it up is because this doesn't just apply to YouTube, it basically applies to any sort of side hustle, anything that you're starting that's outside the norm. Now there's a guy I follow on Twitter called Nauman, and this guy is basically my inspiration in terms of mindset, wealth and money and all that sort of stuff. And what he tweeted basically resonates with me so much, right? So what he said was, what feels like play to you but looks like work to others? And this basically captures it very beautifully, right? If you can find that one thing that feels like play to you but it looks like work to others, you can basically outwork anyone and just beat every single person at the craft, because you're having fun while they think of it as work. Now for those of you guys who don't know, I actually started making videos with TikTok when I first got started. Yes, TikTok, before I started with YouTube. And with TikTok I started to get those followers coming in, and I reached 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K, and each of those milestones, it felt good for like, 1 day, 2 days, couple of hours, and then the feeling just basically faded away. And then I started to realize that chasing those numbers isn't going to make me satisfied. It's only temporary satisfaction. And I specifically remember when I reached like 990 subscribers on YouTube and I was about to reach that 1K mark, I knew that once my subscriber count switches from 990 to 1K and it actually says K on there, it's going to be a huge shift in my mindset and it's going to make me feel really good. I decided to take a step back and realize that that feeling is only going to be temporary. It's not going to last forever. Now what I just said sounds pretty silly, but if you're a small creator watching this video, I can 100% assume that you can relate to what I'm saying. There's a concept in psychology called hedonic adaptation, and it basically means that your feelings and your sentiments adjust to new information very quickly, and you start to get a high, and then it basically adjusts to a baseline level of feeling. Now the other realization that I had, and this is pretty funny, is the fact that I can't believe that 1,000 unique people watch my content, and I somehow convinced these 1,000 people to subscribe to my channel, right? So like, these guys watch my videos and they hopefully found some value in these videos, and then they thought to themselves, hang on a minute, this guy is actually giving me some sort of value. Why don't I actually press subscribe and see what he has to say moving forward? And that's pretty insane to me that 1,000 unique people actually click the button to see more. And it's a pretty humbling feeling that these videos hopefully impact someone's life. Even if it's a small impact, it doesn't really matter. If these videos can hopefully lead someone to be on the path of financial freedom 10, 20 or 30 years from now, I will feel very good about that. If someone kind of watches my videos and goes down the rabbit hole of looking into investments and researching, and basically, 10, 20 years from now, they end up financially independent and I've basically made a difference to that, I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, the reason why I started this channel in the first place was to bring in some of my experience and some knowledge that I've learned in the past working in banking roles, broking roles, and basically bring it to YouTube and give you guys my thoughts and my information and my knowledge and just share it with you guys. I didn't really see too much of that sort of content on YouTube, especially Australian YouTube, so I thought it might be good to just come in here, make those videos and just give as much value as possible. And in case you're interested, if you scroll down to my YouTube channel and look at the first kind of 10, 20 or 30 videos, you will also find lots of home loan type videos. If you're interested, check those videos out if you want. But the other reason I started this YouTube channel, and this is going to be a kind of like a less socially acceptable answer, but I'm going to say it anyways in the spirit of being transparent, is the fact that one day I want to be able to monetize this channel and hopefully make some money off it and hopefully make some online income. Now, I'll be 100% honest and transparent, and I'll just say it because that is one of the intentions of the channel. Also keep in mind that this is not the only reason for starting the channel. The other reasons include stuff like making networks and connections, and also to build my personal brand. But speaking of monetization, I just want to make it very clear that YouTube at the moment does not pay me a single cent to make these videos, meaning that my channel is not monetized at the moment. There are no ads on my videos. And the main way that I make money from these videos is by using referral links, and those are basically the links in description that you might click on and basically sign up for a service. Those links are affiliate links and referral links. And referral links are pretty cool because they basically create a win-win situation for every single person in the transaction. So if we take the example of Stake, if you sign up to Stake using my link, you will get a free stock. I will get a free stock, and Stake will also get a brand new customer, so it's essentially a win-win situation. But circling back to ad revenue, to be monetized on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in 1 year. So if we look at my channel, 1,000 subscribers is all good, so that's a big tick, but 4,000 hours of watch time, that is quite a lot, and currently I'm lacking in this space. Now, just to give you guys some context on what 4,000 hours actually looks like, that turns out to be about 240k minutes of watch time, right? So if I'm uploading videos that are 10 minutes long, and on average people watch about 5 minutes of my video, overall on my channel I need to reach about 48,000 views to reach 4k hours, and I need to finish this all in just 1 year. So it's definitely possible to do, no doubt, and my prediction is that I want to hopefully get it by the later end of this year or even early next year. With stuff like this, you can't really predict it, so let's just see what happens. I'm going to keep on making these videos and hopefully we can reach it soon enough. But the other result of this YouTube channel is the people that I've come across, and let me tell you, this is absolutely insane. So at this point right now, I've spoken to either in person or just over message people in almost every single state in Australia. And this is so crazy because these guys are all like-minded people that are either investors, entrepreneurs, content creators like me, basically like-minded people that want to reach financial independence, they want to grow their wealth, and they're all trying to, uplift each other and basically help each other to reach their goals. And that's pretty insane that I've been able to, make friends and meet these people basically around Australia. And being surrounded by people like this is so refreshing because all of you have one common goal and you're all trying to basically help each other achieve it. And I think it's so empowering that social media has the power to do this. Like in Sydney right now, we're stuck in lockdown, but with social media, it can basically help us to do all these things without any borders. And I cannot stress enough the power of just putting yourself out there and the power of community. And I honestly recommend every single person to just start doing it. Start putting yourself out there because it's so important. So now I fully believe that whatever your interest is, if you just start to make content around that, eventually your content will get noticed by people that have similar interests as you, and automatically you're going to start to make friends without any sort of borders. So basically, if you have some random, obscure hobby like pottery, if you want to, that thing that spins and you just make the pots, if you have that sort of hobby, that's a pretty niche hobby. If you start creating content about that, start talking about it on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, eventually you're going to start to meet people around the world or in Australia that have similar interests and they want to catch up with you, and you can basically bond over those sorts of things. And I think it's so powerful that social media allows us to do that. One YouTuber that I watch quite a lot is Ali Abdaal. This guy inspires me so much, and he basically changed my mindset on so many things when it comes to YouTube, life, and just thinking about these sorts of things in general. And one thing that he says that really resonates with me is the fact that he calls social media a serendipity vehicle. And basically what he's trying to say is that social media is a vehicle that will create opportunities for you that previously never would have existed. And I've seen this happen to so many creators so many times, and it's pretty crazy what serendipity can do to you if you just start putting yourself online. Okay, now onto the fun stuff that I've got planned for the channel in terms of content. So I've got two things planned. First thing is interviews. I'm going to be bringing in guests onto the channel and talk about their personal finance journey, their views on money, life and wealth and all this sort of stuff. Now these are going to be people that are already pretty active in the finance content creation community, so you might even be following them already if you follow this space. And how this will help you guys is we're going to go pretty deep into their investing philosophy. We're going to talk about some things that they consider before investing, and you'll get to see different perspectives on investing because, as you guys might know, there is not one right way to invest. There's many different ways. So if we think about traditional property investors, you've got the property investor crowd that just flips houses. They basically buy a house, do renovations, then sell it. It's very short term. Then you also have people with strategies where they want to just buy properties and hold for the long term, 20, 30 years. Then you also have some other people that just want to do some other things as well. So with property, there are lots of different strategies. And then over in the stock market world, you've got people that are just focused on the short-term returns. They're focused on day trading, swing trading, and making those short-term gains. Then you also have people on the other side of the coin where all they want to do is just long-term invest, buy and hold ETFs, and 100% of their portfolio is just ETFs. And then you also have people who are doing long-term as well, but they have 100% stocks. And then you also have people like me where you have majority ETFs, little bit in stocks, and then very tiny portion in crypto. So as you can see, there's lots of different strategies for each sort of market, and there's no one right strategy. And bringing all these people on to kind of discuss their perspectives, I think is going to be pretty interesting for you guys to learn different views, different strategies, and based on that you can decide on how you want to invest and get some insight from these different minds as well. And then secondly is the property series, and this is equally exciting as well. So basically I'm going to document my whole journey when it comes to buying a property, from being a complete noob and knowing nothing about property to actually buying it and basically learning along the way, and sharing with you guys all the stuff that I've learned when it comes to researching properties, finding areas, talking about different terms like, rental yield, vacancy rates, all this different sort of stuff, auction clearance, and not just about what they are, but what they actually mean in the context of property. Because personally, I'm pretty comfortable with the stock market. I know that my investments aren't going to go to zero like overnight, but when it comes to the property market, I'm absolutely scared and I have no idea. And I'm assuming that there's going to be lots of people around Australia as well that also want to buy property, but they have no idea where to start. And I think this series could be really good for beginners to actually see the whole process. And basically I'll be documenting this stuff, every week, talking about what I've learned. And I think it'll be really, really helpful for people to come in, give me tips, I'll give them tips, and it'll be very good to kind of form a community around buying a property. And this is going to be pretty interesting because I'll be learning alongside you guys, so I think it'll be very good to kind of have that experience. Some other things that I want to also focus on is storytelling, basically getting good at kind of conveying the message in a very kind of engaging way and keeping you guys engaged and entertained, hopefully. I also want to talk a bit about my personal story and relating it to finance and money, and talking a bit more about my personal life and what I've learned in terms of investing, and how the stuff I've learned could be really useful for you guys as well. And also I want to improve the aesthetics of this channel and hopefully get some sort of a brand identity. So as you can see, I really don't like this kind of bland background, very grayish, very sort of dull, not very exciting kind of background. I'll hopefully be moving into a new place quite shortly, hopefully once this COVID situation is over. So hopefully we can improve this aesthetics and really make it look nice. Very top notch, very pleasing to the eye, and hopefully this stuff can be done and all these series can be done hopefully once I move into the new place. So really hoping that COVID can be dampened so the restrictions can ease and we can basically resume with our normal lives, hopefully soon enough. Now, if you're still watching, guys, thank you once again. I really do appreciate you being here. It does mean a lot. If you want to get in touch, send me an email, send me a DM or a comment. I'll be able to get in touch with you and just help you out as best as I can. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you also might want to check out my very first video on the YouTube channel. Now, this video basically shows how far I've come from being this person to being this person, and hopefully that video can also give you guys some more context as to why I started this channel in the first place and the reasons for doing so. So check this video out, and guys, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. And it's a pretty humbling